Hey, how you doing everybody? My name is CherryBoy and welcome back to A Light in the Dark. Let's get right back into it. Alright. Day 4, morning. My head hurts. Okay. And, oh, my head hurts. Through the eyelids I felt the sharp sunlight. I opened them to see the little piece of the sky from the window. Sigh. I passed the long night half asleep. I couldn't recall many details about last night, just how weak I was. The fluctuating temperature rendered the body powerless, and my brain made me feel nauseated like having a hangover. I felt there was something on my forehead, then realized it was a towel. The ice had been melted by my body heat, making the towel disgustingly wet. Remembering my foggy dream, my heavy heart dropped even further to the bottom. That was the memory of my mother, as well as the last thing I wanted to remember. Was it because of the stress? I tiredly covered my face with the hands. The palm, temperature, and pulses reminded me that I was still alive. Huh? I suddenly realized my hands were free. Only the deep mark on the wrist proved that I wasn't dreaming. I started to move my hands in disbelief and tried to examine the rope on the legs, when I heard the cool voice of the girl next to me. Calm down. Calm down. I'll tie you right back up if you dare to touch the rope. The girl was already awake somehow, monitoring my every movement while holding the cell phone. I couldn't see the little girl. I assumed they were taking turns to rest, but not sure where she went. After the argument and torment from last night, my own animosity against her lessened a lot. Either that, or I just had no energy to care. Good morning. I coughed a few times and greeted her with gathered strength. You took care of me last night? She grunted unhappily. The non-committal reaction was her yes. Be quiet and save some energy to take care of yourself. Oh, didn't know you cared about me this much. Shut up. The shoes on the ground made tap-tap sounds, like she walked to me and looked down from above. Stop acting like that. It's disgusting. Is that so? Stay quiet. Let's just stay quiet for now. Worried she might really do it if I said the wrong thing, I simply shrugged. You'll kill me after getting the money. After the silence, I decided to be transparent. She hesitated, then non-committally shook her head. Who knows? Her attitude seemed to soften from before. At least she no longer hit me at random or threatened to kill me. If they really didn't care, they wouldn't have bothered to buy medicine for me. It could be my wishful thinking, but I'd rather believe they had no intention to really do it. So my next step should be look for a chance to escape, try to cooperate. I should cooperate and establish a better relationship with them. I might be able to persuade them after winning their trust. Anyway, thank you. For what? For taking care of me. She stumbled momentarily before responding. Tell your dad to cough up the money faster then. What are you laughing at? Nothing. I didn't mean to enrage her, so I shook my head indicating it was nothing. Hostage thanked the kidnapper. This sort of development would make anyone doubt his or her sanity. The argument from yesterday was like a switch, bringing forth emotions long forgotten. Is there anything to eat? My improving condition led to a better appetite. I asked her for food. Here. First, a pack of cookies, then she threw a can of something else over. I picked up the can and stared at the cola in hand in confusion. I had no idea why this thing would be here. Do I drink this? Duh, what else would you do with soda? Thanks. I still had no clue, but wouldn't say no to a chance to switch things up. I opened up the cookies obediently to fill my stomach with something first, then washed it down with the soda. So sweet. Since all I had were crackers and steamed buns, the sudden assault of flavor was too much. Take the medicine afterwards. I have no time to babysit you. The medicine she spoke of was on the desk. The effect was immediate and didn't make me sleepy. I wonder what it was made of. The food and partial freedom allowed me to relax my mind a little. A relaxed hostage? I must have been getting too comfortable with the situation. We will let you go once your dad pays. As though reading my mind, she spoke to me calmly. This was the softest tone she had ever used, as though she was comforting me. Not able to bear that gaze, I looked to the window. The more time we spent together, the more I understood her thoughts, her anger, her contempt, and deep down her unease. If there was a way not harming someone and ending all this peacefully. Ooh, interesting. I shook my head, laughing at myself for the naiveness of that thought. So what now? Rating actions? Let's... Is it new scene in the bathroom? Now let's talk to the old girl. Let's talk. Do you really think you can get out of this unscathed? How much money do you actually owe? How much does she know about the kidnapping? About my next step. About the next step. Hey, so what's your plan after getting the money? Why do you ask? She suspiciously turned her head over, waiting for my answer. Just curious. How boring. During the long wait, I had nothing to kill time with but chatting. She stayed silent for a bit, tapping the cigarette ash on the desk, then quietly opened her mouth. I want to start over, somewhere where no one knows about me. Yeah, I see. The face of the girl stating her vision was so determined, like some pious nun praying. There was neither passion nor desire, just serenity. Interesting. I don't care what kind of job I get. I just want to save some money and live a normal life where I can sleep under a roof and eat properly. You can't do that now? It didn't sound that impossible. She could have just grabbed a knapsack and go off to the countryside like those work exchange folks. Now? She laughed and waved her hand as though I just asked something really stupid. No frickin' way. Even if you change your face or name, they'll still hunt you down as long as you owe them money. But even if you have the money and pay off the debt, could you really get out of this that easily? Whether through surveillance camera footage or the call records, it was impossible to escape from the pursuit of the police with the help of modern technology. Escaping abroad might be an option, but the language barrier and the lack of cash would also be problematic. I didn't know if she had thought about this, but it was weird for me to ask her anyway. Is that strange to you? Nope, I've thought of similar things. I think everyone has going someplace where no one knows who you are. Away from the stigma or any expectations, just to live as your true self. Oh, why would you want that? Are you still not satisfied with your own life? Men are greedy animals, haha. Noticing I didn't speak the truth, she hesitantly opened her mouth, but nothing came out at the end. So what now? I feel like talking to her more. Older girl. How much do you actually owe? How much money do you actually owe? Why are you asking this? It was rare she didn't reply in mean words, just coldly. Is there no other option? I'm just wondering. Just wondering. Doesn't matter, just a number I can't afford. Probably isn't much for folks like you, ha. She replied mockingly and lit up a cigarette. She turned her head and said no more. Alright, then in that case, keep talking. Do you really think you can get out of this unscathed? Yeah, maybe that one. Do you really think you can get out of this unscathed? Realizing I couldn't convince her normally, I changed plan and tried to threaten her. She just looked at me with a look of indifference. It didn't faze her at all. There's still time. If you just let me go. Let you go? You think I'm a fool? You think I tied you up for fun? Who do you think you are? The series of questions rendered me speechless. Instead of fear, my words triggered her rage. Yep, I messed that up. I realized then how much determination it required for her to do it. Not out of drunkenness of impulse. She knew full well what she was doing, and the consequences that followed. Yet she decided to do it anyway. In comparison, I underestimated the situation. Just let you go? What do you know anyway? You think you're some big shot? Why do you think I kidnapped you, I have no interest. Why? Why? Why then? You wouldn't get it anyway. Not expecting me to really ask that, she paused and then moved away her gaze. I won't get it if you don't explain. So many questions. Just stay quiet till we get the money. You started it. If you have time for this, what about figuring out how to make your dad spit out the money? Now wanting to continue the conversation, she changed subject after a grunt. Alrighty then, that's all the action I had. So now we're in the afternoon. Seeing that I had gotten better, she walked towards me with the rope. Your hands. Do you really need to tie me up? I can't escape like this. This or this, take your pick. She motioned to the rope in her left hand, then the knife on the right. Knife, rope, knife, knife, rope, the knife. I picked knife. Wait, what does that even mean? Let me stab both of your legs, then I won't tie you up. Never mind, the rope is fine. Your choice, not mine. The bread she brought back for lunch was the classic scallion bread with pork floss. The long, absent flavor spread in my mouth and made this meal a feast after days of nothing but nutritive biscuits. In contrast to me wolfing down the bread, she showed no appetite next to the window. What was she thinking about? I decided to focus on the bread before me, since I just recovered from illness. You bought so many flavors this time. How come? Seeing all the flavors in the bag, I was so confused by her generosity. They're leftovers. They were gonna throw them out anyway. She coldly turned her head and grunted with distaste. I hate those fancy shops that take pride in their quality. They'd rather throw out the bread than give them to those who need them. Do you know what they say? If we give the leftover to others, the original customers would never buy them. All for such a petty reason. Ha! She mockingly laughed, despising the self-proclaimed fancy shops. From their point of view, they do have a point. I replenished some strength after filling the stomach and started to chat with her. It might be hard to understand, just like people not getting why others thousands of dollars for a steak, or much more for a pair of headphones. For most people, food is just to relieve hunger. For some people, however, it was a pursuit of the ultimate sensation of taste. Time does affect the bread's texture. The store needs to maintain the quality for the reputation. If the shop cut the price when there were some leftover, then people would only come back before closing. This would affect the profitability negatively. I initially wanted to explain the impact of expectation mindset, but decided to go with a simpler way to explain it. The shop needs to make a profit, so it is only natural for them to. Only natural? Oh. Didn't I just say? It's not the matter of throwing it away or not, but the mentality of the customers would impact profit. Then that's what pissed me off! What quality? What reputation? So some brand reputation is more important than starving people? Does nothing matter besides the money? That's natural to you? Her staring eyes were burning with fire, like those that have seen the worst of humanity and were accumulated with rage. At the shop, why don't you change that then? That's the shop's freedom of choice. Even if you disagree, that was their freedom of choice. Freedom of choice? Keep that bullshit in a textbook. It is a choice when rich people want to waste their money however they want. Meanwhile, I had to work to pay as the debt as a kid and couldn't even have a place to live. Is that my choice? Or you want to say I should just stop working and starve to death on the street? What a freedom of choice that is. I couldn't respond to her argument. They all say one must work hard for the opportunity, but no one will tell you you only have less than half the time others have due to your family. They say society only cares about your abilities, but no one will tell you that poverty will hide you from ever being seen. They say people are born equal, yet no one will tell you that that is just a lie. Well, it is true that no one can decide his or her upbringing, I guess. I could only respond with this after staying silent for a while. It just sounded like a self-defense. Sounds fair to you, rich boy. My sincerest apologies. She grunted and turned her head away. End of conversation. Yeesh. The girl was looking outside of the window with a cigarette. She was always extra quiet when smoking, like it was some serious ritual. In a room only a few square feet in size, two people with opposite backgrounds quietly sat and preoccupied with their own thoughts. How old was she? What happened? Why was she doing this? I thought I didn't care, but the more time we spent together, the more I realized how different she was from my imagination. The criminals in the news all looked evil and inhumane. It was hard to imagine they might have their own stories too. The things they like, the things they hate, the people they cherish, their worries, their thoughts. There was a sentence from a book. Everyone tried to live better. No one would think him or herself as being nonsensical or crazy if you feel that way. That meant you don't know that person well enough. I didn't try to understand them. The fast-paced modern society made it exhausting to take care of oneself, let alone others. We didn't care how others were like. Labeling them as good guy or bad guy was just that much easier. I see. So what now? Let's just keep talking. Do we know each other? Yeah. Do we know each other? No way. Our lives have nothing to do with yours. Hearing my question, she snorted mockingly. Really? Somehow I think I've seen you before. Hearing how affirmative I was, she tilted her head and started thinking. Maybe in the shop? No, that's impossible. Or maybe you see me on the news, or in the police station, huh? Her smile seemed to sharply cut me. Her pointed words made it hard to get too close. Then why me? Ha, still thinking about that? She sighed impatiently. She waved her hands to indicate she lost interest in this exchange. Your dad is filthy rich, and you live by yourself. Can you think of a better target? Or you think there was some backstory? Just blame yourself for being too careless and your dad for being too rich. I was still uncertain if the culprit was someone I knew. The fact she knew this much about my household was just bizarre. That question aside, didn't she just mention a shop? She had worked in a shop. What kind of shop? I'd imagine a convenience store, so what now? Let's chat. What do you plan to do with that little girl? That girl. What's your plan? Will you let her go home after getting the money? Who? The one calling you big sis. She'll be with me, of course. I heard some gangs would manipulate underage girls and make them into a lackey to avoid arrest. It had been only a few days, but it was clear that little girl didn't know anything and only followed instructions from her big sis. She even looked worried when I was sick. It was just cruel to ask a kid of that age to be the scapegoat. Does her family know about this? Family? She frowned upon my question. There was some sort of communication barrier, as something seemed amiss. She has a family, right? Or did they abandon her? I am her family. I am her family. I couldn't make sense of it at that moment and just froze there, forgetting about what she even just said. Didn't she call me big sis? Wait, so you were really her sister? Like, sister? What else could it be? She impatiently crossed her arms across her chest and asked matter-of-factly. Ah, so I thought she must be like her boss or maybe some surrogate sister. But if that was the case, then her faith in Big Sis would make sense. They're blood relatives, after all. Nothing, just, you don't look alike. Is that so? Oh! She suspiciously looked at me and burst into laughter upon realization. She saw through me. You thought she was like my lackey and I would send her to jail in my place once I get the money? She was smiling, but there was no warmth in her expression. Are you kidding me? I'll take responsibility of my own actions. Not like you people that grab all the goodies and stuff others with shit. I just think your little sister is a good kid and would rather she doesn't get involved. Oh, so you actually care about us? She replied absent-mindedly, as though not believing one word I said. Interesting. So what now? I can't talk with her anymore, so let's observe. Okay, phone. That thing. What is that? Crumbs? Bag, sofa, bathroom. I feel like looking at this, whatever this is. I'm not sure what brand it is, but the smell is not as bad as I thought after inhaling it for a while. It has blue packaging. What brand is it? I should try to ask about it. Might be the clue to identifying who she is. What is the brand of cigarette you smoke? Why? You want to try it out? Nah, I'm fine. Then why ask? I just found it smells special. She figured telling me wouldn't matter much, so she answered easily. Light 7. My dad only smokes these. Your dad? He hit the road a long time ago. A shitty man who doesn't take care of his family. I'll kill him if I ever meet him. Seeing how angry she got, I found something strange. Wasn't it just contradictory to hate someone, yet smoke the same brand of cigarette? Alrighty then. Day 4, noon. Night. Interesting, we're learning a lot. Finally, the girl put down the phone and loosened the frowned eyebrows, along with a sigh of relief. What's up? Lucky for you, things have worked out. Your dad will pay tomorrow. For real? Duh, why would I lie to you? She seemed to be in a rather good mood since all I got was just a look rather than a solid flying kick. Stay put and nothing will happen to you. So you will let me go? Who knows? Just don't have any funny ideas and wait patiently until tomorrow. She gave no promise and just shrugged with an ambiguous attitude. And It went differently from expectation. According to my understanding of my father, he would have tried to buy more time to let the police track the kidnappers down. Yet instead he conceded rather easily. Did he really plan to just pay up? Knowing him, he wouldn't believe the kidnappers' claims so easily. He must have a plan. No idea. I didn't know what he had in mind, which was a sad realization of how far apart our relationship was. Why do you look so pissed? Did your brain burn out? She asked with a little surprise after seeing me not saying anything with a lowered head. As if. I responded vaguely. While I didn't think things would go this smoothly, I had no intention to tell my kidnapper that. Pfft. Without noticing my concerns, she mumbled before opening a can of soda next to the window. She leaned back against the wall and let out a long, tired sigh. She clearly didn't have it better than me. Outside of preventing me from escaping, she also had to worry about the police and negotiation process with my family. It might seem like it'd be over soon, but the key event was tomorrow. Would they really pay as promised? Could it be just a mean to buy time? They always say parents will pay any amount of money for their children's safety. Don't make me laugh. We're not a normal family. Nothing could be done with this broken excuse of our relationship. Despite telling myself not to have any hope, I still wish for them to pay up. A self-contradiction even I couldn't really explain. My head started to ache again while pondering about it. I tried to rest against the wall, but all sorts of thoughts stuck in my mind. Be a good boy at home, okay? Liar. So what's with your mother? Huh? I came back to my senses from the fuzzy memory and answered absentmindedly. Why is there no contact at all from your mother? She is right here in Taiwan, but refused to show up after her own son is kidnapped? That's strange. Maybe she's busy. All the unpleasant memories came to mind, making me try to change the subject reflectively. Are you kidding me? She raised her eyebrows, clearly not pleased with this answer. In retrospect, it wasn't really a convincing answer, but I still didn't intend to say more than that. Why do you care about my family? Are you an arranged marriage agent? Arranged marriage agent. If you let me go, I can give you my number. Maybe we can... I stopped right in the middle of the sentence. There was only my voice throughout the conversation. She would have interrupted me by now. The strange silence spread across the room. I raised my eye and looked into her black eyes, realizing I sucked at hiding my thoughts. You really talk a lot when it's about things you don't want to answer. Is that some rich boy habit? Maybe. I didn't expect her to notice such details, so I recognized her sharp observation with a bitter smile. Didn't you figure me out already? You should know our relationship was bad. All I care is if you have money. Your relationship is none of my business. Why now then? I responded casually, but couldn't help but wonder the intention behind this question. Sheer curiosity? I felt it wasn't that simple. I just want to hear from you what's wrong with your mom. Even Mr. Ken said it was pointless to contact her. Mr. Ken? Never mind. So you're gonna talk or not? Seeing her impatiently brushing her hair, I lowered my head to ponder how to respond. I didn't know where to start, really. It was embarrassing and I didn't feel the need to tell her. What, is she your stepmother, or your father's mistress? Seeing me now pondering, she started to guess randomly, and managed to get pretty close to the truth. Something like that, just the roles are reversed. Huh? At the end, I decided to go with the easiest explanation. My mom had another man. It wasn't really something I couldn't talk about, but it just triggered tons of unhappy memories. Since I was a kid, she often went out with someone, but I didn't know where to or what for. It sometimes would take her a whole week before she came home. Even the housekeeper couldn't give me a direct answer. Your mom is having an affair. There was no way for me to tell a 10-year-old that either. Oh? She supported her head with a smile on her face, which looked more like gloat than sympathy. You guys are strange, always doing these sorts of things. Affair, inheritance fight. Don't you have better things to do? Not expecting me to answer, she started to talk to herself and laughed, as though hoping to balance things out by hearing others' misfortune. What a poor man your dad is, making all the money abroad just to raise a woman for another man. He knows. He knows? I said it casually and saw her staring at me dumbfounded. Yeah, he knew my mother's affair. Cool story, right? Are you an idiot? Have a sense of humor. Why didn't they divorce? Did he forgive her? Or maybe your mother has the money. She ignored my joke and kept prying. After confirming the ransom payment, she started to talk a lot more. Who knows? I don't care, nor do I want to figure it out. They like it this way, and I can't do anything about it. I actually asked about that just once. I could never forget his reaction back then. I angrily told him about Mother's affair, and the hand touching me tensed up immediately. Yet the shock only stayed on his face momentarily, then it was replaced by another emotion, some sense of relief. He softly rubbed my head and told me Mommy didn't have an affair. I simply misunderstood. Misunderstood? No explanation, just one single word. With the company increasing in size, he spent more and more time abroad. Never did he ask of Mother's whereabouts, nor confront her, as though nothing happened. Why didn't he ask her? Why didn't they divorce? Why feign ignorance? I couldn't ask anything seeing his soft smile, and the unanswered questions became the gap between us. It got wider over time until it became an unfixable distance. Maybe he has a mistress too. The marriage was just a ruse. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. Does your dad still love her? Staying silent for a while, she eventually asked. I don't know. At last I couldn't. At least I couldn't. I didn't say the second part, and it didn't matter what the answer was. I deleted her phone number that day and moved out during high school, keeping minimal contact with my family. Since money came in every month, meeting up or not didn't matter. Maybe she knew that we already found out about it. No, maybe she wanted us to find out. In retrospect, too many things didn't make sense. There were better excuses for the affair to keep me from discovering it. She wanted Dad to know. Unbelievable as it was, but it did explain many things. To force him to propose divorce, testing his reaction, regardless of the motive, there was no argument or confrontation as I expected, just the status quo. Maybe she wanted to get alimony by forcing your dad to divorce. No one would openly have an affair to get alimony. No judge would be so stupid. She tried to find an explanation with a darkened expression. Save it. You won't find an answer. They've been like this for years. They at least tried to hide it from me when I was young. Now they don't even bother. The moment he was on the plane, she was already on her way to spend the night with another man. She just needed to play a good wife when he came home, as though nothing happened. It was like an adult version of playing house. The curtain raised and everyone played their arranged parts. You were the dad working abroad. You were the mom taking care of the house. You were the kid that needs to go to school. We all knew it was fake, but no one would spell it out. I kept thinking that if my dad's company wasn't that big, if my family wasn't that rich, maybe things could have been different. You think things would be different without the money? I'd expected that to trigger her. She started laughing coldly. Why is it so difficult to just openly discuss this? Do you really have to make it more complicated? Seeing her angry reaction, I somehow felt a little reassured. I finally confirmed I myself wasn't abnormal, but that my family relationship was abnormal. Things wouldn't go away if you pretended you didn't see it. That was just lying to yourself. Make things clear and break up if there's no more love. Don't keep perpetrating a lie if you don't want to be together. How simple is that? Who knows? They like it that way. I didn't want to argue with her. The world is too complicated. Too many people, too many things that will take a lifetime to understand. Why do they do that? Why does the society function like this? Why can't one ever be satisfied? I don't know. If there's no answer, then you just accept it. Reality wouldn't change just because you don't agree with it, or because you know the cause. Don't know? Are you nuts? She waved her hand impatiently, as though nothing I said was worth a dime. Why don't you figure it out if you find it strange? Are you some soap opera protagonist? You don't get it, even if I... You're the one who doesn't get it. Abruptly interrupting me, she coldly responded. You don't know how lucky you are. You don't know how many people envy you. You just keep saying you can't do it. How many people want to be like you, and yet here you are telling me, I wish I had less money. So quit the self-pity. You are lucky, rich boy. If you want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well just die. Angry as usual, but this time it seemed different. I could tell she was treating what I'd said seriously and was dumbfounded by that realization. I never told anyone about my family. I realized it wouldn't matter even if I did. Is that it? How come? Poor thing. The pointless reaction was just exhausting. No one really cared, and then it became a random subject of chit-chat. It was like talking about disasters on social media. All the self-righteous comments are really just empty words on things that have nothing to do with you. All I did was notify others. Hey, I know about this. I have a heart. It's all meaningless. If you want to escape even this type of problem, you may as well just die. Upon hearing that, I realized I was escaping. Fearing that atmosphere, fearing my parents, I ran into my own world and never attempted to negotiate with them. What? Say something. Seeing me not saying anything, she stared at me coldly while brushing her messy hair. No, you're right. I sighed. I actually felt much better despite my situation remaining the same. Pfft. She went silent, hoping to see if I was mocking her or being honest. Then she spat and turned away her head, seemingly more awkward than mad. Doesn't matter what you think. I won't be seeing you again after getting the money tomorrow. Good luck. She lit up a cigarette. The faint tobacco smell permeated the room, along with the cool night air. If they did get the money tomorrow, and everything just ended, that would be the best possible outcome. I shook my head and laughed to myself. Even I couldn't believe that. Life is fated to be a tragedy. We thus live in hope of a miracle. I recall this line. The air I breathed out turned into white smoke. Through it I saw the foggy moon outside of the window. Even if just once, I hoped a miracle would happen. Dang, that episode was deep. 3 a.m. in the morning. I'll pick it up in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. And if there's any other games you would like me to play, please comment down below as well. And if you like this and would like to see more, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, as that would be epically appreciated of you. And as always, my name is CherryBoy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. See ya.